Did your broker hold a big event, spend about $30,000 to put you on stage to celebrate your first closing? Who got that? Just think about that. Most agents get their license. And you guys know what percentage of agents who survive after 2 years of getting licensed in the businesses? What percentage survive and what percentage fall out in the first 2 years of being licensed? Who knows what that number is approximately?
84%. 16% do.
Did you guys hear that? Precisely. 84% fall out after they get a license first ever. Only 14% do. And then of those 14%, over the next 3 to up to 5 years, another half fall out, leaving about 7%. Yeah, Dave. Leaving about 7% 5 years later of all the licensed agents who graduate, whether it's residential or commercial, end up in the business. Okay? So you got to think to yourself, oh man, that's kind of tough, isn't it? So what are you guys doing to arm yourselves with the tools, the training, the support, the collaboration, the people, the lead generation, money to stay afloat until you make it? Right? So I think that's what Daniel wants me to share with you, but I guess he wants me to share the story. I want to hear your goals. Let me share with you 5 minutes of my story. 56 years of life condensed into 5 minutes. How's that? And then we'll take your questions. Vietnamese family, immigrant, left Vietnam in 1975, raised by a single mom, 8 brothers and sisters. Came to Ohio for 1 year. Forever grateful for the family, for the church that sponsored us. But then I was very young. I was just 8 years old. My sister was 16 years old, and she repeated her high school year to learn English. All of us had to learn English, right? And she graduated high school for the second time here in the US. And then my mom says, where's my daughter going to go to college? And they said, we don't go to college here. We are a farming community, right? We're a farming community. And my mom says, well, thank you very much. We'll be forever grateful. But I didn't leave my country to have my kids grow up to be farmers. I'm sure it's a very noble profession. I want to do something different. I want my kids to have an education to create the life that they want to create. Thank you very much for that. One of the things I do is I go around the country and I teach people how to do events. And I don't want empty chairs when I'm speaking in front. Does that make sense? Because that doesn't look so good on the pictures. I know Daniel takes a lot of pictures. But never have the front row like empty. By the way, why aren't you guys sitting in the front row? Now you're in the front row. Congratulations. The front row is the most expensive seat. When you guys go to a concert, do you say, no, I want the nosebleed section? When your kids ask you to go to a concert, they say, Mom, Dad, just buy the nosebleed section. Or do they want on the floor? Courtside. Good. Now you're courtside. Do you understand that? I'm going to be all over the place today. There's no agenda. But let's just think about the mentality here. People spend hundreds, if not thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars for tickets to entertain themselves. Yet when it comes to our career, we don't. I'm sorry, you're in the back of the room, but it's okay. All right? When it comes to our career, we sit in the back. Guys, the moment you change your thinking in life and you stay disciplined with that thinking, your life will begin to take off in a whole different direction. So, my story. Growing up, my mom was the type of woman who, she worked 2 jobs, cleaning toilets and dirty hospital beds to raise 8 kids, right? Back at home, she did very well. She was a businesswoman, but she knew what she had to do to make a better life for herself, right? She would be the person who, walk down the street, see a Coke can, a Coca-Cola can, and would stop and pick it up and go take it to the redemption center, turn it in for 5 cents, save all that up, and send that money directly back to Vietnam to help the blind and the homeless. And that's the person that was raised me to help people, okay? So fast forward, I graduated from college. I graduated second in my class from the bottom. It's true. I got kept back in high school. I was not much of a student. I was a student of life, right? I always want to make money. So graduated from college, got a job, started in the corner office of the mail room. It's the only job I could get. That was with a company that I believed in. That was an insurance brokerage. And literally climbed my way from the corner office of the mailroom to the second corner office of a high-rise building as a chief financial officer for a publicly traded insurance company. And my mom always says, Tom, if someone's paying you a salary, you got to show up early and stay late. If your boss shows up at 8 a.m., you figure out his schedule and you show up at 7:55 and you be there to open the door for him. If your boss stays till 6 p.m., you walk out the door, you shut the lights, you lock the door, you carry his bag, and then you take him and you leave with him. So that's what I did. Okay, now my boss would say, wait a minute, Tom, you finished all your work already, just go home. I said, no, because I'm working for you. If you have more work to do, I want to help you. And that's how I rised the ranks to be a CFO of a company. I learned faster than anybody else because they kept challenging me and still got it done. What's that got to do with real estate? If you are not with the eXp platform, you probably don't understand what we're talking about. Okay? Most brokerages, when I ran my brokerage, I could not deliver on giving my agents more training, more tools, more lead generation, more support, a better compensation plan, health insurance. I could never do that as an independent broker owner. It was just too costly. I didn't have the skill set to do that. But here at eXp, it is impossible for you to run out of resources. It is impossible for you to run out of training, whether it be rookie training to rock star training to being crushing a solo agent, going from 3 deals to 30 deals a year, or building a team going from 30 deals to 300 deals to 3,000 deals. If you can dream it, it's all here for you, right? But do you show up early? And do you stay late? And do you put in an honest day's work? My story has always been put in an honest day's work. If I'm going to play baseball, I love playing baseball growing up, I show up early. I put out the bases for the coaches. When parents came and picked up the kids at the baseball field, because their parents came and picked them up after practice, I didn't have no parent to pick me up. People never knew that I walked to the field and I walked home. My mom was not there to pick me up, but it doesn't matter. I didn't tell anybody. Showed up early, put out the bases, stayed late, picked up the bases, cleaned the bats, brought the bats into the coach's trunk. And guess what? Just because of that, he wanted me to be good and be better. And then very quickly, I rose the ranks in the sports world back at high school and then college, right? But that means showing up early and staying late. So ask yourself, this whole week, it's Friday now. If you're in the real estate business, did you put in an honest week's work of real estate? You guys know what the answer is. If you are, then congratulations, you're crushing this real estate business. Now, some of you might be thinking, I did, but I wasn't doing the right thing. I don't know what the right thing is. No one's coached me, taught me, held me accountable. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm supposed to work 40 hours a week, but I think I probably put in 8 hours. And the other 32 hours I was posting on social media, I did that get about 3 or 4 likes. That was cool. I have an agent back home. He's about to quit the business. He's not in my revenue share organization. He's someone else's revenue share organization. And he comes to me, he goes, Tom, I've been I'm quitting. I can't make it. I've got bills up the wazoo. I've got credit cards that I've tapped out. They shut down my credit card. Can't afford it anymore. I'm going to leave. I said, I get it, man. Go back, get a job. But I say, don't quit. How many hours do you need to work to just make ends meet? 40? Okay, cool. What do you do with the other 128 hours? You guys know there's 168 hours a week, right? So 40 hours work for somebody else, it's okay. You still got 128 hours left. How many hours do you sleep? 8 hours a night. That's a lot. So 8 hours a night times 7 hours is 56 hours to sleep. Minus 126 and 56, you still got 70 hours left. What do you do with the other 70 hours? It's more than a full-time real estate gig. Does that make sense, guys? When I do work, I'm here. I knew in my calendar, I'm very time blocked, that I'm going to be with you guys this week. I don't want to be nowhere else mentally than here. I'm sitting right here, paying attention. Could I be on my cell phone and my email? Could I do all that? Absolutely. But am I being as effective as I can be for me to pour into Daniel's group and Judy's group and all of you guys? Right now, because if I'm not connected, nor will you be connected. Right? And I give it my all. So the question for you is, are you giving it your all? Okay, we can get in the weeds about it, but I think if that's one life lesson that I've learned over the years, and I've seen people go from 0 to hero for themselves, is because they're very disciplined. Look at your calendar and see how disciplined you are about your time. Then find an accountability coach or partner. Okay, my accountability coach and partner growing up through life is me, the guy that look at myself in the mirror every day. When I brush my teeth, that's my accountability partner in the morning and at night. When I get out of the shower, I'm completely naked and I look at myself in the mirror. That mirror is my accountability partner. Man, Tom, you're getting a belly here. You better do some more sit-ups. It's my own accountability partner. Who's your accountability partner? Lucky for me, I have accountability partners here at EXP. My sponsor, Scott Lewis, he kicks my ass. I give him the permission to kick my ass. And he allows me to kick his ass. There's days when he makes me feel like shit, but then he picks me back up and he goes, go do it again. And there's days I call my sponsor out as well. I says, dude, you didn't show up for me. I didn't appreciate that because I room 40, 50 people and you didn't show up for me. Right? You hold people accountable. Do you have an accountability partner? So be tough on yourself and ask someone else to be tough on you. Yeah? You agree? It's hard to be tough on people. Yeah? You guys have kids? Who has kids? Yeah, a lot of us have kids. Right? How tough are you on your kids? Yeah. And there's a way to be tough, right? I am tough on my kids, but they still want to be with me. We still vacation together. Olivia's 24, Chloe's 21, and on their spring break, on their time off, they want to be with mommy and daddy. How cool is that? Right? So there's a way to be tough. There's not a parenting thing, but you encourage them. Last night, every day I try to call my kids at least once, FaceTime them. Right? And that's my priority. Why do we all work so hard when we don't have a good relationship with our husband, our spouse, our significant other, our kids, our church, whatever it is, right? Man, I'm all over the place, but I'm hoping I'm dropping some nuggets for you that really help. What questions do you have for me? Let's just take some questions, Dan. Yes, Dave.
First, before I ask a question, I just want to finish your story. Okay, because that's a lot, but well, the part that I'm endeared to, and he's he gave you his resume, and he started to touch on the dollars. But what I really love about Tom is that I've known Tom for I don't know how many years. First Aria, then EXP. I'm in his revenue share group, and what I love about Tom is not only is he one of the hardest working people I've ever met, but he also has that balance. He also he's not just talk. I've seen him for years make his family his priority. He's got a beautiful family. And if you want to know about an individual, look at their children. Look at their children. And he's got 2 girls that are grown, and they are amazing, beautiful, bright, smart, well-mannered. They're just going to be insanely successful. And that's a direct reflection upon their parents. He's one of them. And so he's the type of person that I would go and have a pint with. He's somebody that I consider a dear friend in addition to a business partner. So I love Tom, and anybody that doesn't know him, you need to get to know this guy. So anyway, that's,
Thank you.
I couldn't, anyway, I think you know I'm sincere. My question is, and I've been in real estate for 25 years. I sold my last house in 2021. I moved to Texas. I don't have a license here. Even though I have not sold a home since 2021, I continue to get checks from EXP every month, literally every month. I'm here to learn how to make that a bigger check,
Okay.
and get back involved with what EXP has grown to, and grow that revenue share, grow that. So that's my question is, I'm looking forward today to learning how to build a business without even having a license here in Texas, because I know it's possible. I get a check every month, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
And thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dave. I love it. We're going to get into that when we get to rev share. We're going to talk about rev share later. Okay, cool. You said something that resonated with me here. What is your purpose? What is your true mission? Do you have it? Like, does it smack you in the face every day? Do you have a vision board? A dream board? Do you? If you don't, you really got to do it. Go home tonight. Go home this weekend. Open up all these magazines that you have. Go online and search for Google Images. And for me, it's an island. I've always wanted to own my own private island. That's right there smacking me in my closet. When I go to my closet, I see a beautiful island. I almost came close to buying it. I actually bought an island, and then my wife didn't like it. She goes, "You're going to be on the island by yourself." So I gave up $5,000 non-refundable deposit. I did have an island, but when I'm getting an island that she actually wants to be in. Okay. Family. Vacations. What's your bucket list look like? Is it smacking you in the face? Okay. For me, one of my dream board or vision board, if you're with EXP, is this thing called the wealth chart. Okay. The wealth chart is basically, I track my leaders, and I promised my mother before she passed away to fulfill a promise that she asked me to keep, which is to help at least 100 people become personally and financially free. Okay. Many of you in this room are on that chart. I just get you to get to a point where you're personally and financially free. And that's what keeps me going. When I don't want to book the next flight, I still do. Because I know I promised Paul that I was going to be here to be with him. Right? When I don't want, when I know I can extend an extra day because someone else needs extra help, to book my hotel for one more night, stay one more day. I just want to get home and sleep in my own bed. I do, because I know that person is just searching for the right person, the right accountability partner to get them to where they want to go. And if I can just spend an extra couple hours with them to set their mind frame right, I can actually make a difference, not for them only, but for the kids. And then soon sometime the grandkids are going to come, and I can change a whole generation. Does that make sense, guys? So when your vision and your dream goes beyond who you are, man, will you make impact in life. Right? What are the questions you have? So revenue share. How many people with EXP right now? Majority. Because you guys understand revenue share. For those who don't, we'll cover revenue share. Revenue share is pretty simple. And I know your organization, Dave, right? It's growing like crazy out of San Diego. That's where Dave came from. He sponsored a few people who sponsored a few people, and it's going nuts, sort of. And in order to capitalize on revenue share, you have to have frontline qualifying agents, frontline agents who are selling houses. For you to do that, let's say you're not licensed in Texas, but you're coming across agents all the time. You've just got to go after the heaviest hitters in this industry. It's easy to go after the rookies because we feel like we can dominate them. We're more powerful than them, that they will listen to us and we have more influence over them. But I can tell you it's a lot of work because 84% of rookies don't make it in 2 years, right? And the 16 or 14% that's left fail in the next 2 or 3 years. So if you're going after rookies, you're not going to get there fast. My frontline agent is James Huang. You think I have to train him how to sell commercial real estate? Does that make sense to you? I went after the biggest, baddest people in the business. It's the same no. If Jim says no to me, it doesn't hurt any more than a rookie saying no to me. Does it? No. So Dave, go after the rock stars. Why? This is the place where pros go to grow. Did you guys hear that? You're going to see that tagline coming out of EXP in the next year. We've been saying that now. This is the brokerage where pros go to grow. Pros in this market right now are hitting a limit. Transaction volume on both the residential side and the commercial side is down. Yet we are growing like crazy. Daniel, can you do me a favor? You pull up. Can you pull up Facebook for me? Let me show you what I mean. Because numbers don't lie. I'm a CFO by training. Numbers don't lie. Pull up my Tom Trong Team Leader Facebook page, please. I'll show you guys something while he pulls it up. We have agents who's coming in here who's doing 10 million, and in 1 year they go to 20 million. We have agents who are struggling with other brokerage doing 1, 2, 3 deals prior to, and they are doing 10 deals, 15 deals, 20 deals. Yeah, that's it. So go up to the top page. Go up to the picture. Look at that. 3 months in 2024. Now, remember, let me set the stage. Sales volume in 2021, residential sales volume in the United States closed about 7.1 million residential closings. You guys with me? At the end of 2023, it was 4.1 million. We did 3 million residential closings less 2 years later because interest rates went from 3% to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, and closings went from 7.1 million to boom, 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 down to 4.1 million according to the NAR and RISMedia. Yet, look what my team, you guys are part of this team, by the way, of agents. Last year, we did 864 transactions. Oh, what happened there, Daniel? Last year, we did 300, up to January, February, March of last year, we did 864 transactions totaling 351 million. This year, in the same 3 months, we went to 1,382 transactions to 557 million. We're almost $500 million in 3 months. You guys are part of this. Thank you. This is where the pros go to grow. While the market share is down like crazy, we are capturing massive market share. Agent count is down. My agent count for my team is about 1,300 agents. It hasn't moved much. We've probably lost, well, let's see, I average about 40 new agents every month. And so that's about 500 agents a year. So I add about 500 agents a year to my organization, and I lose about 500 agents a year now for the past year. So we track the agents who leave, and most overwhelmingly, 80%, 90% of them didn't close one transaction. They just left, they quit. But those who stuck around, it's a massive volume. Do you guys see that? EXP's numbers are the same. I think my numbers far exceeds the average for EXP because we pour into training, coaching, mentoring like we do here. Accountability. We pour into our team like that, okay? But EXP last year did not make #1 brokerage, and this year we did. You guys all got that email? number one in all categories. Why? Because some of the stuff I'm teaching you here, more training than you can handle. Okay. How many agents are residential in here? Do residential primarily. Okay, half of the room. The other half are commercial. Okay, commercial. I can't speak on the commercial side in terms of this statement. I know at least on the residential side, if you master KV Core, which is a lead generation system or CRM, you will have more leads than you can handle. I am not kidding you. This morning, when I'm sitting with Daniel going live on Fire Friday, my phone rang 3 times. Live leads coming into my phone in the span of an hour. 2 of those leads were tracked back to KV Core. Why? Right? So normally I don't answer the phones at all, but my buyer's agent, Evan, took a 3-day vacation. He goes, Tom, can I have Friday off? I said, of course, right? And so when he takes the time off, he usually answers these calls live. The second person default goes to my wife's phone. It rings live, right? My wife was at the gym this morning, so she didn't pick up, and boom, it rang on my phone. And I said to Daniel, sorry, I got to pick this up because I teach you guys to pick up the phone when a live lead comes in. So 3 leads this morning, and I'm not even searching for leads. These are agents in my KV Core. These are agents that I've worked with for the past 19 years in the business, the real estate business, that are on my website still searching. They go to my website, not Zillow, not Trulia, not Realtor.com. They go to my website. Does that make sense? If you guys are residential agents with EXP and you aren't leveraging the living lights out of KV Core, you're totally missing out. You have no idea how powerful this tool can be for you. And I teach you that. Agentsgetfree.com, open up agentsgetfree.com. Daniel, you get all the training here. In addition to what EXP does, go to resources, go to KV Core training. Boom. Okay. It's all there. All for the taking. Okay. There's all more leads than you can handle. That first video is like a 3-year-old video, but it still goes, it still works today. There's only about 24 tricks that you need to master in KV Core. That's it. That's why I say when I do my presentation, you give me 24 days, an hour a day for 24 straight days, and you execute what I'm teaching you, you'll have more leads you can handle. And then if you quit, it's on you. It's not on me anymore. Okay? Scroll down, please. Inside Real Estate has a whole YouTube channel. So if you can't sleep at 3 in the morning, go to the YouTube channel. All the training is there. Everything you want to learn about KV Core. Go back one, please. KV Core recorded webinars. If you missed a live, and then KV Core online learning. Click on that. That's live right here. Now, maybe one day, Daniel and Judy, you guys can share what we have on the commercial side for training. Actually, I can show you what we do on the commercial side. I'm just not a commercial guy, right? So master KV Core. You can sign up for classes, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys know in my organization, there's a Let's Chat? Go back to the Let's Chat. Go back one right here. See that? I have, one of the things I love about this business is it allows me to have personal freedom, be wherever I want to be, location freedom, anywhere I want to be around the world, and financial freedom. Never have to worry about looking at my bank account ever again because of revenue share, okay? But because of that, I've managed to hire executive assistants, and they're on call 21 hours a day for you guys. You type a question in there, and chances are one of my executive assistants will look it up and call you back and get back to you right away. This is in addition to what EXP makes available to you. This is the ability to design a business. You want to be a team leader, right? A massive team leader. To design a business where the business works for you and you don't have to work for the business. What does that mean? What's that? Freedom. Okay, how does a business work for you? Well, I was sharing with someone on the bus. I forget who. Minnie, I think, Min. And she goes, Tom, how do you manage everything? You're everywhere, you get shit done, blah, blah, blah. It's a time blocking. I start off with time blocking, right? Look at my calendar. If you look at my calendar, it's okay. I'm time blocked. I'm extremely time blocked. I'm never busy. People say you're way too busy. I says that's bullshit. I'm going to call you out on that. I am time blocked. If you get on my calendar, I will be there. So when I time block, the first thing I do, rolling 12 months, always, is Olivia, Chloe, my two daughters, when are your spring breaks? When's your last day of school? When's your first day of school? Or my daughter now, she's working at New York City. What vacations have you scheduled? And can I be part of it? Family first, right? And nothing gets in the way of my family's time. Got it? After family comes all the major events. What's major events in my life? My brother's family reunion for the family. When my mom was alive, it was my mom's birthday. All this stuff went into my calendar next, right? And then vacations. I didn't have to say one word of work yet. And then comes EXPCon, comes Build, comes Regional Rally, comes my travel schedule. And everything fits in. And then if you look at my calendar, there's still a lot of empty time left. And that empty time is do whatever the heck I want to do. So how time blocked are you guys in your life? With family or whatever is most important to you first, right? Another piece for me is ARIA, the Asian Real Estate Association. ARIA is in my calendar, right? To serve my community. We know when our convention is for ARIA. We know when we go to Washington D.C. to promote housing, to give back to our community. That's in there, so nothing gets in the way of that. Imagine having the ability to design your life once and for all, and be disciplined enough to stick to it, and then really live it out, and have a lot of fun with it. Okay, that's my schedule up through October. You can see that's EXP convention, right? Build. You guys have Build here, Dallas Build, July 25th and 26th, I believe. Okay, you can find me there. These are all my live events. Way out. Do you have that? Okay. All right. What questions, you guys have? What other questions do you have? Jim's calendar is there. Daniel's calendar is there. All of our leaders, their calendar is all there. Now, whether they keep it up to date, it's up to them. I don't know. Right. But Dick Lee, right here, was a mortgage broker. Dave, right? Sort of in your position. You're in the insurance business, sort of. Okay. Dick Lee was a sponsor for my first EXP Explained 6 years ago. And he sat in the back room, he paid for lunch, and we showed the EXP Explained. I didn't show it, my sponsor, Tracy and Scott showed it. And afterwards, Dick comes up to me and goes, "Tom, can I do this too?" I said, "You just need to get a real estate license." Now, Dick closes a lot of mortgages, okay? And he went out and he got his real estate license very fast. He continued to grow his mortgage business. He still crushes his mortgage business, but because along the way, when he's doing mortgages, he comes across real estate agents and he asks them some very simple, non-pressing, non-salesmanly like questions like, "Hey, are you open-minded to taking a look at a different business platform that's in the brokerage arena that might give you more leads, more training, more tools, better compensation plan, healthcare? Would you give me 30 minutes to show you what that might look like?" So at least you have a plan B from Keller Williams, Compass, Remax, Sotheby's, wherever you are now. You always have your plan A. Awesome. Can I be your plan B? That's the script. Can you guys all do that? Dave, can you do that? It's not forceful, right? And if they hesitate a little bit, it says most successful people have a plan B in place before their plan A goes to shit, right? That's how I get most of my client, my front line. It's not salesy at all. Did that sound salesy to you? Does that sound reasonable, Judy? And then you're showing the program. So Dick did that. And revenue share through EXP, here's an organization of 460 agents now. I have 1,300, 460 came from this guy. And he still sells a lot of mortgage loans. Okay, revenue share has helped him and Pauline pay for 2.5 kids' college education. and their kids went to George Washington University. That is $75,000 a year. That's $300,000 per kid times 2.5 kids. And he didn't have to tap into his home equity line. He didn't have to sell one of his properties to pay for college. He didn't have to take out a loan. And Revenue Share did that for us, for him, I mean. I'll tell you another story. Search Don Choi on Facebook. Want to talk about something crazy? Don Choi, there you go. Don passed away. So there's a picture of me, Don, Dick. We're all over the place. Click. I think I was the guy who took that bus or whatever. So Don Choi, go ahead and click on that picture. Okay, there's Dick Lee in the back. I was at that party doing something else. So Don joined the company 6 years. The minute after I joined, he joined. He was a commercial broker working for another firm. And he goes, Tom, I'm in, man. There you are. That's the same party there. All right. And he joined, and we didn't have a commercial division back then, but he saw the vision. Okay. And he built up December 17th, 2021. December 17th, 2021, Dick Lee and I were doing a presentation like this, and our phone starts to blow up. They're FaceTiming us. This woman named Victoria down in Tampa, Florida, was blowing up his phone, my phone, and I'm looking at it, and Dick's looking at it. I said, Dick, can you take that for us? And Dick went out and took it. He came back, and his face is all flush white. I finished the presentation. I said, what's up, man? He goes, my God, Don's dead. He got hit by an 18-wheeler truck this morning. Died on impact. It was a foggy day in Tampa. The truck driver didn't see him, just ran him over. Don is married with Han. Sammy and Cece are 11 years old and 13 years old back then. Now they're 13 and 15. Don had built a revenue share organization along with selling houses along the way to about 300 or so agents. Today, Don's organization is 450. And every time one of these 450 agents close a transaction, eXp takes a piece of that and sends it to his family to pay for college. Well, not college yet, but to pay for stuff. Because Don saw the vision to make the move here and got out of his own way to invite other people to see the program. This is how this platform can change your life. Does that make sense? And by the way, eXp Revenue Share is willable. So as soon as we got word that Don passed, Han, who's a full-time accountant, went out and got her real estate license right away. As soon as she gets her real estate license, we put her in. eXp put her into Don's position, and she started getting those revenue share checks. Okay. Dan, you want to open up your rev share? You mind? Is this being recorded?
All right.
Come on, let's show revenue share. Ready?
I have nothing to hide.
All right, Dan, scroll up, please. Oh, never mind. So go scroll down. So here's Dan Ang, right? We're sponsored by Jim Huang, who's sitting right in the back of the room. I sponsored Jim. Tracy sponsored me. Scott Lewis, Jennifer and Ralph Flick, Gene Frederick, and Elizabeth Riley. Elizabeth lives in Austin. Okay. If you go to the regional rally next Tuesday, both Elizabeth and Gene will be there. Okay. Dan has hit this thing called beta, which is at least 200 or more agents in his organization or 15 frontline qualifiers. So congratulations, Dan. Give him a big round of applause. He's worked really hard. Click on revenue share. He's brought in 29 frontline agents. Daniel Calvin Wong is one of those frontline agents, right? And those 29 have brought in 76. Who brought in 71, who brought in 27, so on and so forth. And last month's check, without him having to close one transaction, do one deal, was $10,943. Click on that, please. And it came as a result of, click on periodic review. There you go. 34 closings. Oh, right here. 52 closings. From 34 agents, paid him almost $11,000 in this revenue share thing. But he only brought in how many agents? 29. How powerful is that? That's $120,000 a year as an annuity paid to you for life, and it can only get out of control. My income, my revenue share income is out of control. I can't stop it anymore. If my plane crashes on the way home today, my wife will continue the business, my daughter who's licensed will continue the business, and I know, gosh darn sure, he's gonna have another meeting next week and bring in more people. Wow, that is mind-blowing, right? So 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, 11,000, and it grows. Like, I bet you he's doubled every year. First year is probably 1,000 on average. Next year is probably 2,000 on average. Then it went to 4,000 on average. Then it went to 8,000 on average. It's doubled. So you're looking at his organization. I bet you next year, as I stand here, he'll be like $20,000 a month. And then the following year will be 40,000 a month. That's what happened to me. 6 years later, 50,000 a month. Like, I wake up and there's money in the bank account. Wow. Because you change people's lives, because you taught them how to lead generate, hold themselves accountable. Time block. Right? It just doesn't come free. Agents still have to sell a lot of houses, capture massive market share to get there, but we have the best system possible for that. Okay, commercial, residential, all of it. All right, what other questions you guys have? Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that. It's pretty powerful. Okay, when I saw this program, I was not looking to change. I was happy. I had built my brokerage to 120 agents. And then I scaled it back to 90 agents because 30 agents weren't doing anything, right? So, and then I packaged it up and I sold it to National Hedge Fund, okay? And then I went back to selling a lot of houses. And then I saw this program and I left everything behind to build it. All right. Anything else you want? Questions about anything?
Have you completed your list of 100 people that you want to help?
You know, it's a good question. I don't know. I guess reckoning day will come when someone buries me, and then let's see how many people show up and see how good that guy was. Or nobody shows up, who knows? How do we really know? Right? So all of us have a day that we start, that we were born. I'll end with this. And a day that we die. On everyone's gravestone. Right? The day you were born, the day that you die. On my vision board, I have it written down what that's going to say. Tonight, go home and write out your epitaph. Is that what you call it? Epitaph? Write it out. What would it sound like? What do you want it to say about you when you're done here? I know what mine's going to say, right? Hopefully it's going to say, I've changed lives along the way, inspired people along the way, and I left the world a better place. What's it going to be like for you? And who knows how many people are going to show up? More than 100. Hopefully they stayed up there and says, man, that guy changed my life, right? He helped me in one way or another, blah, blah, blah. He inspired me, so on and so forth. This is really cool. Remember when we had the Afghan war? The Afghan war about 2 years ago? And there was Afghan refugees that came here to the US. Okay, and I'm an Airbnb host back at home. And one day I opened up my Airbnb. Usually my assistant does it, but she sent this message to me. She goes, so, hi, Tom. My name is Susan, I think. I represent a church, a local church here in Worcester. You have a home that can fit a family of 12 kids and parents and a grandmother. And would you be interested in donating your Airbnb for about 2 weeks while we try to find them, government housing in Worcester? And I replied right away, absolutely. Here's my cell phone, give me a call. She couldn't believe it. She called me right away and she goes, Tom, you are at least the 20th host that I've reached out to, and no one has called me back because I asked for a donation. I said, what do you need? When are they coming? And they gave it to me and says, done. You got it for 2 weeks. Got it? I was at Refugee Family one day, one time in the back. Some church took care of our family. We'll be forever grateful. Okay. 2 weeks turned into like 4 weeks. When they moved out, they destroyed my place. But it's okay. You have to understand, Marissa and I went there to drop off some food for them. It's a 7-bedroom, 7.5-bath home on Airbnb, okay? And we went there and really none of the beds were, the kids were playing on the bed, you can tell, but no one was sleeping in it. They were bouncing on the beds and stuff like a trampoline, but they weren't sleeping in it. They retreated to the biggest room on the first floor in the living room, and I see blankets and pillows and all my stuff in that room. And I'm thinking to myself, there's 13 of them just sleeping in the living room versus in these 7 bedrooms. And I figured out why. The church told me. They don't know when in the middle of the night someone's going to come and grab their kids and take them somewhere. So they have to protect themselves. They didn't know what a bathtub or real shower was. They bathed the little one in my kitchen sink, a porcelain kitchen sink, and they broke the kitchen sink. But you know what? It doesn't matter. When you get to a point in your life where you know you can help people get to a better place, it makes you feel so great. Now, fast forward 2 years later, I get an article. I read an article in the Worcester Gazette, I think. And it's this family who's helped like 4 other families come here and make their way in the United States. How cool is that, right? The older kids have learned English. They went out, one of them got a CDL license to drive trucks. One of them's trying to learn English to be a teacher, to teach in the Worcester Public Schools, to teach Afghan kids how to speak English, so on and so forth. So there's a whole generation that you can make an impact on if you just get your shit done. Get your finances in order once and for all. Sell as much houses as you ever want to sell, and then pass your knowledge on to somebody else so they can continue what you're doing. That's what I've done. Right? I've sold a boatload of houses in my time. I still know how to sell houses today. I know how to close them. I told you, get 3 phone calls this morning. I closed 2 appointments like on the spot from strangers. 9 a.m. listing appointment on Sunday and 4 p.m. showing appointment on Tuesday. Boom, just close it. Are you at the point and when you get a cold call that you can warm them up fast enough for them to trust you enough to like book an appointment with you? Or they continue to shop after you hang up with them? Does that make sense? How well do you know your craft? I paid $597 recently for another training course. You guys know what NLP is? NLP? Neuro-linguistic programming training. Okay. For online class next Saturday. Actually, next Saturday. So I can continue to improve myself. 8 hours of intense training on neuro-linguistic programming, on how to deliver in front of an audience, how to connect with people much faster, how to master the personality profiles, how to ask the right questions, listen intently, and respond immediately to connect with people. That's how you get better and better and better. Are you guys continuing to improve your skill set to be a better human? Right? A lot of us get to a point where it says, we're good enough. We don't need to get better anymore. No, I get better and better and better. If you watch my talk 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and 6 years ago, you'd see, hopefully I've improved along the way. I used to be in a room when I speak and there's people on the phone in the back and they're not paying attention. Now you're going to hear a pin drop. Next time you get up and speaking, you got to see, look in the back of the room. You'll be able to gauge for yourself how good you are as a speaker. Did you command their attention or did you just totally lose their attention? If you lost their attention, you better change it up. I've done that many times. Change it up, speak about something else to get their attention. Pull them right back here on stage. right? Because they spent the time, the money to get here. You might as well make it worthwhile for them. Guys, that's it. Daniel, back to you, man.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm always available to help you. If you're at ESP, find me on Workplace, or just have my cell phone. Most of you have my cell phone. I promise you, I'm time blocked, but I'm never busy to help you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Tom. I'm gonna have Paul come up really quick, just share about, team building, and just kind of how you came about, and then we'll bring Jim up. Cool. Thank you.
So I was set to retire. I sold my other company, and I was pretty much planning my future of what I was going to do. And this big, beautiful angel walked into my office. If y'all know Colin Hugh, he's not here right now. He's out working. And I did tell someone, I said, "You're like the biggest angel I've ever seen," And someone said, "Did you say he was the biggest Asian you've ever seen, or angel?" Both. Just go with both. And so he walks into my office and he says, "What you gonna do?" And I said, "Well, I sold my company. I'm excited. Me and my wife we're actually headed to Grand Cayman here shortly." And he goes, "Have you ever thought about getting into real estate?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm probably actually gonna do that. I'm gonna flip some homes." I'd actually already got my real estate license a year before. So I was just gonna buy some homes, flip some homes, have some fun. And he goes, "I want you to come meet Daniel Ng and Calvin Wong." And I said, "Tell me what it's about." And he wouldn't. And I said, "I'm a builder. Like, I don't want to really go sell homes and all that. I want to build people. I want to work on people's self-image, their self-worth. Your self-worth equals your bank account. That's what I've been doing for years. That's all I want to do." He goes, "You can do it here." And I said, "No, you can't, because I've tried it before in real estate. The broker's in control of everything. It's a mess. In insurance, I can recruit coast to coast. It's beautiful. I can do whatever I want." He said, "You just need to come meet these guys." And I asked a few more questions, Esther, and he still wouldn't answer. And that's when it hit me, Brian. I was like, I've trained people for 20 years to do what you're doing to me right now. Say nothing. Just give them just a little bit of information and get them around somebody else. That way you don't have to oversell the opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. So Esther, I was like, this is going to be good. I bet this is really good. So it was. I walked into the office. I met Daniel and Calvin. And Calvin said some things that my old mentor said to me. I was like, oh my gosh, God has put me in the right place. One of those things was my old mentor, Fitz, said to me, the greatest gift, the greatest thing you're going to get out of building a business is watching other people grow. And at the time I was broke. I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. My car, I'm watching my car because it's about to be repossessed, right? I'm like, that's dumb. It was the greatest thing ever, was watching other people grow. Daniel said almost the exact same thing to me 20 years later. I was like, oh, God has put me with the right people. I was texting my pastor under the table. I told you this, Carolyn. I'm texting my pastor going, I found it. And he's like texting back, I didn't know we were looking for anything. I said, I have found our people. I couldn't wait to get on the phone and call them after the meeting. But people are so important to your life. People can save your life, literally save your life. I want to tell you a story. Anybody here ever heard of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers? Anthony Kiedis is the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And at the time, he was 11 months sober. And he had had enough. He was done. He was going to go back to drinking, doing his smack. He knew exactly where he was going to go, the hotel he was going to go to. You and I wouldn't even go to that hotel. Think about it. 3 weeks before that, he sang to 108,000 people in Mexico City. And he's going to a hotel so disgusting, you and I wouldn't go. He called his handlers and said, hey, take care of my dog, Buster. I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. He pulls to the back of the driveway, I'm sure in a very nice car. The book didn't say what type of car it was. And he thinks to himself, uh-oh, I promised the guys at AA on Wednesday morning I would set out the chairs. And he pulled back in. Think of the impact those people had in his life. He's 20 plus years sober now. He's writing beautiful music, some of the most beautiful music he's ever written. His life changed because he made a commitment to other people. big, small. I mean, these are just normal people in AA. This wasn't Hollywood A-list people. We wouldn't even know who they are. But he made a commitment to them, and it saved his life. All because his job was to put out chairs. The lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, it saved his life putting out chairs. And when you can find people to make a commitment to, when you can find people that you can say, hey, I want to commit to you, you perform on a level you never thought possible. When I met Daniel and Calvin and Colin, I was like, I can commit to these people. These are good people. I can commit to them. I told Daniel a couple of weeks ago, I said, a year from now, I'll have 1,000 people on my team and I'll be on a $1 million run rate. That's a serious commitment. A lot of people, TC, say, how are you going to do it? I don't even know yet. But that doesn't matter. If you put in the activity, things will work out, I promise. I'm not going to focus and fixate on that 1,000. I'm going to put in the activity every day to get there. But I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but it will work out because I've made a commitment to them. Here's what I can tell you about success in sales, any sales, I don't care what it is. Bring people on your team. See, because when you bring people on your team, everything changes, everything. Because now you've made a commitment to them. Now you will perform at a higher level because you don't want to let them down. Years and years ago, me and my wife, Tamara, when we were building up our old business, there were days I wanted to quit and there was days she wanted to quit. Thank God those days never came together because we were able to sell that company for multi-millions. But here's what I can tell you. Every time we thought about quitting, I was like, well, Michael and Jeremy are doing good. Might as well stick around and see how this is going to work out, right? I couldn't quit. There's no way to quit. Plus, I made a commitment to them. I said, join my organization. We got the best systems in the world. We had none. We got the best of this in the world. We had absolutely nothing. We had no leads. In fact, we couldn't even get leads in the state of Texas when I joined. It was against the law to get insurance leads in the state of Texas. But I told everybody we had all the best. I made a commitment. I didn't want to let them down because there is going to be a day. I've always told my top salespeople this, TC. There's going to be a day you're going to get tired. Self-employed ain't cool. I know people put it on their Facebook. I'm self-employed and I'm loving it. When self don't work, self is unemployed. Always remember that. Is money still coming in? Is the money still coming in when you get tired? When you want to do things for a family and you want to help them out. No, I can't. I got to go do another closing. Or can you say, you know what? I can help this family out. I can do this. It's proven. Bring people into your rev share, and Tom's going to do a beautiful job explaining that here in a second. And you won't quit. You will make it. You will succeed because you have to succeed for them. Plus, it's very difficult to give up a team like that. And who did I meet last night that had 13,000 people on his team? Cliff Freeman. God, thank you, Tom and Daniel, for introducing me to that great man last night. That dude was cool. I went up to him and I said, me and my wife went up to him and I said, you got 13,000 people on your team. I love that. It's great. That's a great benchmark. I want to be there one day. And he said, listen to me. I brought in 8 really, really, really good people. That's it. And my wife goes, you're speaking our language. You're speaking our language. He goes, I just brought in 8. He didn't say like, well, let me tell you the 5 steps to success. And do you have a college degree? If not, you probably won't understand this, young man. No, he didn't say any of that. He just said, listen, I got 8 really, 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 really good people. That's it. These people here, this team here, like you said to my wife last night, thanks for not letting him retire. I was going to. But I'm loving this. Carolyn's been with me for 13 years as my office manager. I have a feeling afterwards, Tom, she's going to say, hey, Paul, did you hear where Tom said he put his family first and business second?
I thought about that.
Carolyn's watched me for 13 years put my business first, my family second. So I feel like that's going to change after today because she's very close to my wife. She's going to say, hey, this is what Tom said.
I recorded it.
You recorded it? But I absolutely love this team. I love the people that are here. Anybody ever heard of Tom Watson? Professional golfer. He is one of few that has won 5 British Opens. 5. And the others that have won more, there's only 6. You wouldn't even know the names. Tiger Woods, everybody in here know Tiger Woods? Yeah, I got a lot of yeses on that one. Tom Watson, not so much, but Tiger Woods, you got. A sports announcer asked him one day, how have you come about to win 5 British Opens? He said, I prayed for rain. Sports announcer goes, what do you mean? He goes, listen, no rain, I got 100 people to compete with. Rain, I got to beat 5. I only got 5 people to beat. I tell you that story because I've been hanging around Tom Chong all week, and that's who he is. He's like, y'all get out of our way. We don't got to beat as many people. We ain't scared of changes. We ain't scared of this. We ain't scared of that. He's been showing the rev share. I'm like, these are my people. Because Carolyn knows I get excited when they say the success rate's only 7%. I'm like, sign me up, because that's where the real money is. Don't tell me the success rate's 50%. That's like a $100,000 a year job. I got to make $100,000 a month. That's not going to work. Give me like 3%. Okay, now I'm really excited. That's Tom. That's Daniel. That's Jim. That's all the guys here. And I want to end on this. And I was telling you all about this earlier. What's your name again? Alexis. 27 years old, just passed your test. Yes. Joining EXP, correct? Have you got your EXP number and all that yet?
I have my license number, but
Not yet? Not yet? Okay. Alexis, these people, they're so loving and humble and real. Everybody I've met has been just like, come on in. Let's have a good time. And these are like people that are crushing it in real estate. I haven't done anything yet. I've hired 10 people. I brought 10 people. That's it. They're crushing it in real estate. And every one of them makes me feel like I belong here. Belonging is the number one human need for everybody, is to belong. Because when you feel like you belong, you will perform like crazy. So if you're thinking about something here, this group will make you feel like you belong. I don't care if it's Daniel's group, all the other groups Bettina. Oh my gosh, she's a beautiful woman. The thing she said to me and my wife last night was like, we were on her team. It's like, are we a part of your organization? This is the group. You coming up next? Okay. But real quick, this man right here, Daniel, I know Bettina said it earlier. He's the most humble, hungry guy I've ever met. He wants success for more for you than he wants it for himself. That's the kind of man he is. And that's the type of person I can commit to. Please welcome Daniel.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Yeah, so before we go into the numbers and stuff of VXP, I know some of you want to look at that. I'm going to have Jim come up and try to share kind of the vision of EXP Commercial when we started 3.5 years ago. And, you know, him as being the founding president of this company, what is the vision now for your organization? Because we're part of your organization. And what is it going to be going forward as, you know, what's going on with, just share.
First, I just want to thank everyone. You know, it was an incredible ride. Thank you, Tom, you know, for opening up, introducing. And I always say that one of the main things, I was always open-minded. I always like to see what my competitors are doing. If you're a smart business person, you always analyze your competition. So always see what everyone else is doing and explore, ask questions, doubt it, poke holes is very important. But I'll tell you when, and just going to my story, starting with a lot of times at school, everyone knows biochemistry. Who the hell would study that? Nobody. That's just crazy. You don't want to do that, right? Because you're only going to take one path. From there, I was fortunate enough to be picked up or going for an interview for Wall Street. So that was fun to go there. And I said, you know what? I talked to 2 cousins of mine. One was a doctor, one was a banker. And he says, you can always go back if you needed to, if it doesn't work out for you. Had a chance to go to Dean Witter. Then it got picked up by Morgan Stanley. Then I went in from there as an analyst to portfolio management. Life changes, so I came back to California to hopefully get married. And because of that, I said, okay, what do I want to do out here? with the portfolio management skills. I found the largest TICS syndicator in the country, SCI, and everyone knows the change from TICS to DSTs. So learning from that, still being a W-2, working under the CEO, I got to understand syndication, putting deals together. But during the time, I got to analyze all these commercial real estate deals. And they kept on coming from one company, Marcus and Millichap. And I said, why are we looking at all these deals from M&M? And it was because they said they were the best. I said, I want to work for the best. Even though it was a W-2, we all felt comfortable, right? Getting a little bit of money, but really, I always say the 1099 entrepreneur, you got to control your own time. You got to control your own schedule. And that's the hardest for a lot of people. They can't commit to a schedule. I live by my calendar. Tom knows, I wake up in the morning, I do everything by my calendar. You go over, sorry, I got to jump on another meeting. So a lot of times you have to have that discipline if you're not going to be a W-2. And also you have to have the confidence and the team and the people you can plug in to support you through the ups and downs. Because I always say by yourself, it is very challenging. It is a mental game for many people alone. Can you keep yourself disciplined and good or bad? Because when I did switch to go to Marcus, I got a $200,000 paycheck. Last minute, 11th hour, they canceled. I was already spending the money, counting everything, right? Like so many. So that was that mental blow. But how can you go through that and get back on the bicycle and start going again? So kind of learning from a W-2, going to Marcus. And I just said, I did love cold calling. I know when I said that, like, who the hell loves cold calling? But I'll just tell you a story. My ex kicked me out 2 weeks before the wedding. You're never going to amount to stuff. She liked it when I got the W-2 paycheck. But when I said, I want to be a broker now, I don't get a paycheck. I don't get anything. I eat what I kill, right? Everyone's heard that. You eat what you kill. But during that time, I was just very disciplined. And from that, I use that as fuel sleeping. And this is the thing when it was hardships. I was sleeping and I was fortunate to have a lot of good friends. I slept on my friend's aero bed for 3 months. While with the free time, I was cold calling, networking, doing whatever I can, 10 to 12-hour days to get the momentum and pipeline. Once I got a deal, I talked to Steve Stein, our managing director of Los Angeles at Marcus, and said, Steve, I got a deal. It's a sellable deal, because we all know a sellable deal from a BS deal. If you're good in real estate, know your craft. You will know how to underwrite whether it's sellable or not sellable. I said, I got a sellable deal. Can you give me a draw? Because I didn't want to. Now, Ubering, doing other things to maintain, knowing the possibility of unlimited income. So he said, you know what? This is a sellable deal. Give you $2,500 a month for 6 months. Close the deal. So from that, got the deal closed. And I said, deals beget more deals. Opportunities beget more opportunities. You keep working it. You keep going. You keep prospecting and building it. From that one deal, I built momentum. And I never stopped the momentum to this day. I've had ups and downs, but I never stopped the momentum. I stayed disciplined. And I just kept on going to the point where you pivot. And I say, doing the calls, getting the base, the nut, and I'll say, you know, why EXP and what I chose this company was building the momentum. I started after the first year, I said, this is fun. And one of the clients said, doing the cold calling, I don't want to list it, but if you bring me an offer, I'll sell it. Oh shit, great deal. I knew it was a great deal, but they didn't want to list it. I brought a syndication group together and said, we're buying it. I represented the syndication team, one of my college friends, we bought the deal together. We package it, put it in an LLC, but when you cold call, you find opportunities, not like sometimes the MLS is something that everyone can see. We bought the deal, and that started my path of buying a ton of commercial real estate. I think we had 300 units that my partner and I owned in California. So do the math, it's not cheap. I mean, it was $250,000, $500,000 back then, you know, for these units, and 300,000 of them, or 300 of them. And we bought multi-tenant, industrial, we bought retail. We were buying to a point where I wasn't really a broker anymore. I still managed my core clientele. And then I had to leave M&M to form my first company, BRC Advisors in Southern California. Still around today, my partners own it. run it. If you look at it, it was one of the top 10 firms, independent in California, as we were ranked. We built it up to about $2 billion in sales. So I had a little experience, but this is the thing where you're a broker owner running and managing it. Because I really wanted, when I broke off from M&M, to syndicate and do my own deals. Bring friends, because it's always better to do it together, and build this group together. But the problem is, gee whiz, like what EXP has been building, if there's a right model, keeps attracting people. The hard part is when you have to manage them, right? Many of the owners, broker owners, we have to manage people. When we're managing people, we can't do anything. We are stuck managing with liability. So when I started BRC in 2004, going obviously to 2012, what was in the middle of it? 2007, 2009, right? The Great Recession. For those in residential, the whole residential market blew up, right? With all the liquidity. You know, your dog could buy real estate, I think, back then, right? Your cats, people, anyone could buy real estate because they just financed anybody. But residential always leads commercial, which is very important. 2009, after Bear Stearns Lehman Brothers hit, fourth quarter, right? 2003, before 2009 hit, the entire commercial real estate market stopped. I had $500,000 nut that I had to pay every month. And that was frightening. I was like, gee whiz, 180 commercial brokers. I made 0 deals for 6 months. Do the math. I thought I had $1 million dry powder, owning some real estate, selling half of my real estate, seeing what happened was pretty good. No, it wasn't. Because you started, when things go bad, it's a domino effect. This goes bad, that goes bad, everything kind of goes bad. So first time in this big recession, I wasn't aware of this. I didn't know, right? That's why I said it's important to be around people that are battle-hardened war generals that understand cycles in the market, right? How many people were around 2007, 2009? Right? Less than 25%. This is why it's catching people off guard. This is what do I do? Deal flows down, interest rates are high. People that have been around cycles, and if you pick their brain and you live lean or mean, and you live humble and simple, it teaches you a lot of lessons. So getting through that cycle in 2009, and boy, I never begged so much, crawled so much, deferred my brokers' commissions, which because I had a good relationship with them. Some of my brokers had $100,000, $200,000 commission. They let me float it for a year. No interest because we're friends to keep our company alive. You know what that means? I didn't pay them out on their commission, $200,000. I also had a lot of friends sharing my pain with people. This is terrible. I feel like, you know, the worst of what I would do to myself because it was ego driven because it was my brokerage. Some of my friends came out of the woodwork. Friends today wrote a good $250,000 check to me. Say, I have the opportunity. I want to help you. Pay me when you can. So I did learn a lot of hard lessons like those that have been around the cycle. And I'll just tell you this right now, build a network of community because it is hard if you want to stay in this business. If you just want to be a W-2, get a job, understandable. But if you want to stay and survive in this business, build this network, build camaraderie, build support, build friendship. I have been saying this at EXPCon and other events because I care for people because what I went through, I would never want people to be there because I was over-levered, I had too much, lost it all to bring it back. Never wish anyone there, especially if you're head of household, you're the breadwinner. It is the most painful thing you would ever experience. You almost lose your identity. You lose your identity because unfortunately many people value by the job you do, the money you make, that's your identity. And when that's taken away from you, very horrible. But going through 2009 to, I would say 2012, I said things are back to normal. Look at that, 2007 residential crash, 2009, 2012 is when it got back. Understand long-term time frames. It's not gonna come back in a month or two. It's years. From there, I said, I need a new dance partner. My company was still around, maybe 125 commercial brokers. What do I do next? So this is when I started interviewing saying, I wanted to join another firm. I wanted a partner, so I talked to many of the residential doing commercial firms, the commercial franchise firms, some of the big firms to plug in, regional firms. So I got to know all of the owners, leaders, everyone in pretty much all the stacks. But I also learned to give back, help others even more so than the way I was, especially at diversity in commercial real estate. I've always loved to do that since, in the 90s I did it, 2000s I kept on doing it, but I went on steroids really to find my passion, especially after blowing up and everything else. But in 2012, I said, okay, find a new dance partner. Then I found where Daniel and all of us, we were all part of ARIA. But in 2014, I eventually partnered with Rand Sperry, started Sperry Van Ness to do a new franchise model, went through the FDD, launched our model of 2015 of summer. Daniel and many of our friends joined us. We had a great group that we brought together. Still, the company's moving around right now, but I learned the franchise operation. But through all of this, then, guess what? Tom Trong, that I was his VP, joined EXP. But I watched him, and I showed up to your events. You invited me, I showed up. I was like this, let me take a look. Let me see what's going on there. And I did tell, as we build Sperry up, I said, Rand, this is the future. This is the future for commercial real estate. People just don't know it yet, but that's the future. So we were working on a way to put the company within EXP, especially, thank you, Tom and Jason Gessing, still around, right? Had every position at EXP to figure out, okay, what do we do? How do we do it? But eventually what happened was they wanted me to come back to build another brokerage company. Third one. I was like, I can do that. But what I know what we need to do, what's very relevant to everyone today, not only the brokerage, the services, because right now it's not so much the brokerage in commercial real estate, it's the services. The capital markets, especially the mezz equity, recapitalizing so you could refi debt. Most of the times in commercial real estate, you can't get the debt, they're short-term debt, they're always variable up to maybe 10 years. Most people did their commercial debt 3 to 5 years. So if you think about people that bought real estate in 2019 to 2020, their loans are coming due. As interest rates came up, their underwriting and everything that's going on, they can't get the debt. They either have to sell it, find capital to recapitalize it, to maintain it, or do a workout or auction. These are all opportunities. So I am building these services within the network to plug it in, to help people get your clients to say yes, and I'll share more on how that works. But I'll just say this, I did choose EXP and why I came over. RevShare, which I was very fortunate because I couldn't recruit, but because when I came over, I had about 35 people because of my service and reputation in the market. I had 35 people signed up, and the top broker in commercial, Tom Wynn, says, I'm in. He can go anywhere. He was, I think, a $250 million producer, 20% of his time. He's too busy. He passes deals left and right. So that's why within the network, we want to pass for agents that are trained free deals. And you just split with Tom and many others here, keeping everyone alive. But with the RevShare, one, frees you to do what you want in passion as you grow it. And you've got to just spend some time and get the momentum. Because I know with Daniel Calvin, especially I have to say that Calvin didn't believe this model would work. And he gave us a year. And then he may go somewhere else. But then his wife saw a check. He goes, what's this? I think it's RevShare. I think he was bitten by the bug because the check was pretty decent for doing pretty much nothing, right? You got to maintain it now as the group gets bigger. But it was a free check kind of coming into passive. The other thing I liked in this model, we're publicly traded in commercial. Very important. I always say this when everyone says, well, you're virtual. Yes, we are. Do you want a Class A office or do you want to be publicly traded for security with your larger clients? I'd rather be publicly traded. Anyone can get an office and commit fraud or not be the experiences of what you could be, but being publicly traded does matter. So a lot of people said, how do you overcome that objection? You got to show them the things that work. And being corporate, not franchise, was another benefit in commercial. And that's really what helped. And for those that I've saw, one of our other Sperry guys, he just wanted a mentor. Keith did phenomenally well, just giving back training and mentoring. So having RevShare, publicly traded with stock options, right, that we earn by bringing people over and doing deals, to mentoring people, to the 90,000 agents to give us referrals. I don't know any company in commercial real estate that has those four. The only thing I had to do coming over, and do you want me to, I can run through this, Tom?
Yeah.
And then we can ask questions. What I had to do for commercial, to be honest, they don't care about rev share. Referrals is great if they can get it. They wanted the best commercial platform. Learn from Philip Hu, who owns TransGlobal, the largest Asian insurance company, about, he said this: if it's a bad platform, you gotta sell it. If it's a great platform and a benefit, you just share it. If it's shit in a box, you gotta sell the shit in the box. And you better have a nice box. But if it's a great platform, share it. Because I know everyone says, I gotta sell this, I gotta sell that, I gotta sell, and that's a dirty word. We're all salespeople. But if you share it, and how you can share it to get people to engage, and then I love this too, the three-way. Don't try to close them. Do your due diligence, find the best person to close them for you. That's how you do it. I love how people that don't know commercial, don't know the business, try to close people. You're gonna lose that lead. Don't be worried or afraid. Do the three-way, find the right people within your network or outside to help you close them, whether it's a deal or whether it's to bring somebody over. You wanna? So let me just go through the program real quick of what we created, and then I'll ask some Q&As, because I like to get, not the fluff, the platform. I can do that, share it, you can look it on YouTube. While I'm here, I want to help people make money, realistic stuff from my experience. And just some of the people I brought over were my mentors. I got them out of retirement. They all ran, and I just was on a call with them. We'll just go run through this. Residential cycle following, as you said, the big downturn. Commercial usually follows 6 months to 2 years behind, just to let you know. So however the residential's feeling, commercial follows. And
Jim is behind you as well.
yeah, this are just the things, like residential, commercial's losing a shitload of money. They're just losing a ton of money. They're brick and mortar versus virtual. I don't think there is any virtual commercial real estate company. Big advantage. So we can send the deck, but this is just, everyone's losing money in commercial real estate, just like residential. Except that commercial real estate, the big ones have other services. So we always say there are the top tier, top 5 publicly traded global full service commercial real estate company. They're usually publicly traded. They are structured the same way we are. The next tranche down is the commercial franchise firms or strong regional firms that usually are full service. They have these others. And then the next tier down is the residential doing commercial or independents. That's how you break the commercial real estate market and the pedigree. So that's why a lot of times when you're talking to CB, JLL, M&M, Colliers, Newmark, you better know how to talk to them. They're expert salespeople. They're expert BSers. You will not be able to fake it to them. You will not be able to fake it. They do this for a living. They will read right through you. You say the wrong word, they got you. They know. That's why when everyone said, oh, we got a pre-approval for this commercial property, but wrong, right? That's what a lot of the residential says to commercial. And then basically you don't get to see the deal because we do not have a centralized MLS and we represent, that's why we hate when residential brokers say to us, show us leads, show us deals, show us something. Well, that's the work because we do not have a centralized system for all the leads. These are the relationships we build. And I'll say, when you do see it, the barber sees it, it's junk. It's horrible. It's a bad deal. Leases, okay, you can show it. But there are the nuances from the large publicly traded, the commercial franchise firms, and the residential doing commercial or independents. That's how you can analyze how you speak with them. And a lot of these, and this is where the advantage, if you are sharing it with everyone. Oh, I love this. We're profitable. We're virtual. Most of the brick and mortars, like what Tom put up, commercial's losing money too. Just to know, we are more sustainable, and I always say the Goldilocks zone. We are in the right position to weather this. Everyone's going to get hurt. Don't think no one is gonna get hurt. But through this cycle, you want to survive through attrition. You want to let everyone fail saying, I can't do this job, I can't make money, I can't. They're gonna drop out. You stay during this market when the market will probably recover end of 25, 26 is where we're seeing it in commercial real estate, just to be honest. That's what's probably gonna happen. So if you're prepared and you could outlive many of the people in this business, starting this business, there's never a good time. I love how when should I join commercial? You join now. You just get committed to what you do. Heard this, been through cycles. You just have to be committed.
Going backwards.
No, it's right.
Oh, yeah.
These are the transaction volumes. It tracks like residential, but the nuances is in commercial, we have different product type specialties. Everyone knows multifamily and industrial, safe, office, bad, right? Retail kind of bad, depending on how it's connected. But there are niches. People do farm and ranch, land development deals, hospitality. We do business brokerage also. So there are a lot of nuances and they don't all track, but I'll just say overall deal volume is below, anywhere from 50% in even the strong markets, the strong product types, to 80% drop off on office product. Leasing, good luck. You'll get the leasing assignment, but you probably won't be able to lease it unless it's subleasing. So you got to understand, but the good thing is you don't need to know all of this. We will train, help, and get people in. So when EXP, when I first came over, thank you, Tom, 3.5 or 3 years, 8 months, I definitely count the days and months because it's hard. I always say EXP working for corporate, it's like dog years. It took a toll on me, and that's why I love what you said. Take care of family, my health. That's what I'm gonna do now. Take care of most people here, my commercial family, because Daniel, Calvin, many people here waited for me to finally stop being corporate and stop helping our team and our family and our friends instead of just handling 12 to 14 hour corporate calls every day. And I would say half day working 6 to 7 hours on the weekends was typical for me. No time for family, no time for myself, no time to do anything. These are the services we're gonna start building here. And a lot of times the transactional part is slowed so much from 50 to 80%. The important is the services, the capital markets, the bridge, the tax reassessment, other things, the workout, the auction platform, which we're going to launch and share and show everyone how to engage. Because I always say, how do you get in this cycle to get people to say yes? When they say yes, you get to see what their property is really doing because they won't share their P&L, their leasing reports and everything else, what's really going on in their properties, right? Once we look at income and expense, we can figure out what's really going on, right? To diagnose you. But if you don't go to the doctor and say, hey, tell me what's wrong with me, there's no way. But by sharing the right products with this group, to get them to say yes, to get them to share what they're doing, we can figure it out and we can put a plan together. Or we track their deals until they lose it. To be honest, we've seen a lot of people last cycle go down with the ship because their equity's gone. They had nothing to lose. They just played the games with lawyers until they lost their property or they found a solution. These ancillary partners we're putting together. This is the big one. Like I said, we are publicly traded. We are 2 separate companies, especially with commercial real estate. It's very important to know that. Many of the true commercial brokers do not want to be called, hate to say for the residential doing commercial, resi-mercial. They don't really enjoy working with resi-mercial because many of the people on EXP commercial, the 800 agents, we were all pedigree. Most people have been 10 years plus experience from the big shops or owning our own shops. So you can kind of tell we made it. Usually if you're under 2 years, you haven't made it yet consistently. After 2 years, you're consistently should be 100 to $250,000. Those people that get bigger usually make $500,000 or more. And when you become $500,000 or more, or even a quarter, you start buying real estate, you start syndicating, you start buying deals, you start getting more busy, learning your brokerage to make the money. but then you're investing in other things. That's why the passive income from commercial real estate agents is so important, but that's why EXP commercial is very important, because it gives you other verticals. You just don't lead, please, don't lead with that. Lead with these pieces I'm gonna tell you, because this is what makes them interested in why join commercial. 2 separate companies publicly traded. This is the other thing. Franchise versus non-franchise. The big firms is what we're trying to mimic, publicly traded, corporate, not franchise. That means you're licensed in all 50 states. You can do deals everywhere with limitations, and we'll go through this. You can build your own brand. I'll tell you, most of the bigger brokerage firms, when you say own your own business, ego. I've owned this business for 3 generations. I'm not gonna do it under your brand. Brokered by EXP Commercial. Okay, we can talk now. They don't want to lose their legacy of their family's team or brand of their company. That's their ego. That's important, right? Right here. Own your own brand, brokered by EXP Commercial, and our realty, it's fantastic. The other thing is building the community within 90,000 agents. The referrals, the leads, the juniors, the opportunity is immense. I would say it's drinking out of a fire hose in a workplace for those that use it. And I know later on, Daniel, Calvin, Tom, I mean, there's leads coming left and right, but you gotta work it, you gotta mine it, you gotta prospect, like the cold calling, door knocking, you gotta work it. If you don't work it, you're not gonna get anything, right? It's not just gonna fall from the sky. But doing the hard work will give you that advantage. I love building the community and innovation with Glenn, Leo, Michael, all of our leaders. They're constantly innovating, right? Brian Ellington, I know he's gonna speak, teaching about, the podcast, the radio shows, right? We need to always be cutting edge. A lot of things in commercial, stale. They do it, what do they say? It is what it is. This is the way we've been doing it. Well, not this cycle. This cycle is different. Can't do that. Financial freedom, later on as you build, and it does take this. Every year, like Tom said, we're gonna double your income. It is really getting to the first 100, to be honest. After that, if you just prospect and mine a little, you will build it. But in your mind, this year, or even 2 years, put a plan. I'm gonna get to 100 in my team, in your front line that you have to build to unlock. You gotta have a plan and be disciplined. And like I said with my ex before, who kicked me out, I had a timeline on my computer of what I wanted to hit every day, right? Whether you need it for a car, a boat, right, to motivate you. What is it? Financial freedom with your vacations, being with your daughters when you went to London, whatever it is that motivates you, truly motivates you. Don't put something silly like a car or some mansion that you don't really care about. What is it that you really want? Put it up there. Put a plan too to keep you motivated. These are some of the testimony, but this is the other thing. As we say with commercial real estate, don't make a lateral. This is what it means. 80-20. I want to say cap, but you stop paying at 20,000 because capping is a residential terminology. I learned from Tom. Learn a lot from people here. Don't say cap, just say you stop paying at 20,000. They go, wow. Most firms are 50-50 where I started. For new brokers, you do another 50-50 with the new agents. Best is 70-30 sliding scale because they do need to operate on commercial real estate, non-cap or non-stopping at a certain dollar amount to unlimited. That's what the big brokers take care of their company's overall infrastructure. But because we are based on EXP Realty and everything else, that gives us a huge competitive advantage for our commercial part. And having 80-20 stop payments at 20,000 with 250 and 250 for tech fees, which we built a great tech stack together, 250 for the transaction and $100 to 1,000 E&O, which I'll tell you, E&O is going up for broker owners. It's getting harder. Every time a cycle changes, I'll tell you, clients will forget that they did the deal and sue you to unwind it, right? Right? No, I mean, that's what they do. They become idiots. They want to unwind the deal. They want to sue deep pockets. So they become stupid. And that's why residential doing commercial, if you don't have a clean file and you do not know what you're doing, you're going to get sued. You're going to lose for the company. Worse, we've seen it before. The company's going to kick you out because you're a liability. Been there, done that, had to do it to certain people too, if they don't listen. This is important. This is when they say, I don't want to make a lateral. That's the terminology they're going to use. That means they don't want to go to the same type of split compensation. This will be one of the biggest ones because many of the big commercial brokers, I'm talking to one now, 15 million GCI, that makes $15 million pretty much. He does $12 to $15 million with his team of 7 every year consistently. These are the big brokers. The big teams do make 5 to 20 million gross income every year. They give 20,000 for the infrastructure. They can reinvest, and I've heard many friends that came over to EXP, they bought a mid-rise building and put their logo on it and wrote off the taxes and just leased it back to themselves. There's many angles to appeal to their vanity, their ego, the infrastructure of what they would like to accomplish. These are the tools. Before I step down, Moody's Analytics is a CoStar competitor. They have research reports like LoopNet. They have Catalyst that they bought. This is the biggest thing why we hitched our horse to this, our cart to this. There's $70 billion market cap, maybe 65 to 70 billion, twice the other competitor's company. They are going to survive. And most people know Moody's as a rating agency. They have all the parts. There's 200 companies within Moody's. They just have to bring the right resources over to our part of it, which is a CRE data source. Very important. Build out, business broker, RealNext. Build out, you get RealNext, or for more of those brokers doing transactions and leasing. Syndication, and they both have their nuances, and you just have to pick whatever you're more comfortable with. But usually if you leave the big firms, 80% is used by build out or RealNext when you leave. Those that have been at KW, you saw build out, and now it's RealNext. RE/MAX is it. CBC, Cole Baker Commercial. So a lot of those firms, if you did residential, they offer this. And we're doing something pretty interesting with business brokerage CRM because we added transaction, leasing, and business brokerage, 3 legs of the transactional tools or properties that you do. So there's a lot of referrals, especially to the business brokerage. I would say one of the fastest part of our growing company at the most referrals, since residential cannot do business brokerage, is to start getting the business brokers to join and showing them how you can get leads. Because right now it's tough for them too, and their cycle of selling a business is hard. But if they're getting leads, referrals, and other buy-side deals, the business brokerage is pretty good. And you get 8 to 10% commission. I've heard people get even 15 to 20%. And if they have the real estate part of it too, you sell the business for $1 million, you sell the real estate for 4 or 5. Because usually, I would say a third has real estate tied to the business brokerage. Kind of like, Daniel, how many places do you own? You run your businesses too out of it, right? You own the real estate too, which is smart. It's McDonald's. Not only the business, you own the real estate. Training, very important. When I started at M&M, I would always say this, you gotta have good training, but more than the training, does anyone know what's more important than the training? The mentors. Who's gonna teach you? Who's gonna guide you through this? This is almost like a trade craft. Learning who would be best aligned to be your mentors. And as Paul and many people said here, having the right mentor, the right team, right? It's a village raising the baby. Not everyone knows everything commercial real estate because it is so complex. It is so difficult. There's so many different parts. And that's a good thing. Nobody knows it all. If they say it, well, call them out on it. Because it is so complicated from local to product type to dollar amounts, because a dollar amount, 5 million and under, 5 million to 25, 25 and over, different skill sets. So within this network, that's why you don't have to be the expert. You just need to know where and who can you plug in to get the right answers. That's very different commercial versus residential. Residential, you can follow the whole cycle. You can transplant to buy a condo or something in another area. Not difficult, not as difficult. Commercial, you need to know the local rules and laws, the nuances. West Coast is monthly. East Coast is yearly, the way they calculate, lease numbers and everything else. Very different. Internationally, metric system, right, versus this currency exchange. You start working with the experts and building what we are building here. you get the right people to talk, you'll win the deals. Because we always said, 100% of zero is still zero. Worse than that is wasting your time on a deal. Your mentor will tell it. I don't know how many times I had to look at residential deals, looking at the numbers, and I didn't even know the product. I said, it's not sellable, it's BS, it's overshot, it doesn't work. And you'll be embarrassed if you start sharing this. Your time is worth everything. Value your time. Don't count the $1 million commission and stuff if it's not $1 million commission. It's like selling a house that's worth $500,000 for $1 million. Say, hey, I'll give you 10% on that. How in the hell are you going to do that? No one in their right minds. Plus, when you go to the bank for underwriting, they're never going to give you the loan, which is a cheat sheet of how you evaluate commercial real estate property. If you're a rookie or new, this is the way. Put in all the numbers and tell your lender to do a quote. If the quote is 70% equity down, that means you got to adjust it to 50 or 60% loan to value. That means you overpriced your deal for the cash flow. So if you're new in commercial real estate, that's the sucker way, easy way to do it. Get your lender to underwrite it for you. And depending on how much money they give you is the risk of the bank. That's the cheat sheet way of underwriting commercial real estate. If you don't want to work, you let your lenders kind of run the numbers for you. But any good package, you need to run the numbers. But the mentor is so important. And we are building a larger network with a lot of friends, not just in EXP, but globally now, joining our mentorship group. A lot of C-suites, past owners, big influencers are running this all now. So we're going to teach people how to win the deals and not screw up and not get the deals. So it is important, so we don't want people to waste time. That's the worst. To be honest, chasing a deal you think you're going to make $500,000, $1 million, and you're not going to make anything. And they tell you worse, you have to buy them lunch, buy them drinks, drive them around, waste time. See, this is the worst, and we all know that. Don't do that. Find the right people to underwrite so you value your time. If it's sellable or within the window, we'll teach you, and that's why the training, the mentoring, we'll look at it so you don't waste your time. Time is all you got. I learned from my mentors, time and knowledge is all you got. Value it. These are the extra things with EXP Commercial that we started adding at a discount. Many of these tools are for the big institutional, Crexi or Yardi Matrix, pretty much underwrites all multifamily and bigger deals, 50 units and above, 200 or depending on market areas. But this is what it really tells you how to go after the bigger deals, especially when you're ready to go after them. They underwrite everything at a big discount. Crexi Pro helps you search data. They do single family too because portfolios in residential matters. It's CoStar, we're working on that, and LoopNet. I know with Tom, you're working on those parts too. So that is kind of very important. Some testimonials, you can talk to both of them directly. Co-brokering is very important in commercial real estate. Most commercial real estate, once you start moving up, you will handle not only in your backyard, but nationally and globally. So it is important to have a national global network. So when you go after the large clients, it is important to say that, especially with the bigger brokers. They are used to having corporate, not franchise, working with all 50 states. I love this, the 24 different countries. This is another big thing, leads and referrals. We're building it out globally to get more business. And we are working with a large deal in Bali now with a large brand name to do 200 million type of project development using their logo on a building to help make it more sellable. So there are interesting things in commercial with corporate services, brand, putting brands, development, especially if you run the money. It is really important. So there is this within EXP, a great foundation. Workplace, I would say, you got to work it day and night, manage it, get a junior or assistant or a VA, but you should do it yourself. I always say if you're going to do anything, you have to do it yourself. You don't have to do it forever, but know how it works. Pass that knowledge to your assistant or anyone else. Split the deal with them so you can get leads. And I know with many people that are more experienced, they've gotten a ton of leads. I would say anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 is what I've seen using Workplace. No other company really has that. I know the other residential doing commercial, because they're franchised, it's very hard to work as one big company. Regis, I love this too. There's always a space for you to plug in. How many? 6,000? 3,000 locations you can always plug in. But with Daniel and many others, there are places that you can plug in. We are working to find other ways to network those that have EXP offices and others to kind of collaborate, or whatever pricing you could use to get other offices. And it is sometimes, you don't have to do it often, but you have to do it enough to have these meetings, to physical get-togethers. Just don't have to do it all the time. Syndication, this is a big one. When you get a listing, an opportunity, it does blast it out. We are working on deals now to launch to 10 million, 20 million eyeballs. So this is a good listing presentation to say, I could access 10 to 20 million eyeballs of people looking at the deals. One story with Rand, when they were trying to sell a deal, institutional deal in Costa Mesa, most people were putting 39 to maybe $41 million for the deal. The deal came in at 43. You know who the buyer was? For those that didn't hear it, don't say anything. Century 21 from Korea, residential buyer. 43 million. Because commercial, we all underwrite the same. We know, unless we know a secret sauce or the planning commission to increase density, right, to allow something different. Everyone who looks in commercial, analyze it pretty much the same way. The residential, since they don't have access to commercial deals, they gravitate and grab onto it, and they sell it and show it to their clientele. And they usually, for whatever reason, they just want to buy it. All cash, maybe it's in the location, but they don't have access to commercial deals. So when they do see a deal, they just, okay, I'm going to sell this. And they don't really know, but they at least bring the investor buyer to the table. So to say you have a global network with enough eyeballs, there are many stories of residential brokers buying commercial deals. Not so much the list side, but the buy side. They get it because they're not exposed to commercial deals, because we do not have a centralized MLS. So they don't have a listing of every commercial deal. So whenever they see it, they try to sell it. This is something for EXP commercial only, or EXP agents only, to learn commercial real estate. So if you're part of EXP, please do this. If you're not ready to join commercial yet, this teaches you a lot of things that we were doing in commercial. Value of representation, the buy side deals, other things that we use so you can speak intelligently to commercial or your clients about commercial, and then get the right people to help you close the deal. But this will give you enough knowledge, enough expertise to talk the language, to refer to bring people in. This is important. For $249, and I say if you do the test, if you do the course, take the test. So they do from Mike Lipsey, gives you a certification for it. So at least you say, I passed the test, just like the real estate test, you did it. Very important if you're not ready to jump over right away. Advisors, I always said it, your mentor is made in gold. You're so lucky. Calvin, Daniel, the rest of this team here, they love everyone. They pour in. When I had to do it, it's like, bring me a deal, then we'll do it, right? That's not really mentoring. That's just bringing deals. That's not mentoring, right? That's showing when you had something. How do you get the deal, right? Let's help people get there. But I'm happy now, kind of coming out of retirement, to help everyone here once a week. Unfortunately, not one-on-ones, but I'll get groups together to pour into you and get my best friends and connections in the industry to pour into everyone, right? For our team, that's a very special advantage for me now, kind of stepping down and coming out of retirement again to help everyone in our team and everyone else within EXP, to give you that competitive advantage that I couldn't do before. This is important. I always say health as well. Last cycle, I cut off my health care for myself and my family. Horrible. Because the insurance premiums and dues were just way too high. Many commercial brokers, they do cover everyone unless they have a spouse they can latch onto. Tell them just to run a report. I may have that one large friend that's coming over because of this. He's like, Jim, I got to pay my property management and my analysts. Could you add healthcare? Let me look at it. And I just learned, if they join EXP, an affiliate company could put their employees on. That is big. That was my big takeaway from all of this. I rushed out and told my friend right away. He goes, okay, we got to talk now. And other friends that have their brokerage companies that now they can help their staff and everyone, right? We want to help everyone. This is really big. This is almost the price of admission of everything. I would just say, if you are paying your own health insurance, run a quote, see where this leads you. Because ultimately, they're going to do their numbers by how much money are they going to make to how much money they're going to save for wherever they're at. They're just math people in commercial real estate. Very, very few emotional commercial agents. They're math people. All the time they run numbers. And they're going to run this number of healthcare. And the bigger their team is to add healthcare support, the less they are paying. And a lot of times, let's say they're paying, and I did this too, $80,000 a year for my team. And if I could save half, $40,000 goes back in my pocket for other things. They're going to do the math. And when they're running their own broker dealer or broker owner office or property management and other businesses, most commercial real estate, they all do it. When they're big, they don't just do brokerage, they do other stuff. Development, syndication, management, they do other things. Ask this. This is the big one that I do love about EXP, but you'd never lead with this. Hey, by the way, you can earn stock. We're all owners. This is important because everyone wants to be an owner or principal in the company. Well, you now can be by just attracting and bringing people over. The other thing is you can buy discounted stock from your commissions. Put that away. Don't look at it. Don't touch it. You know, it's a write-off. It helps you with many things. And I always say the Icon Award, boy, I got to put you guys to work a lot more in commercial. It's easy for them to make money, except, you know, they got to do the 20 deals, but now they understand do a bunch of small lease deals to get Icon. They're all making $500,000 volunteering, which I want to make them volunteer more. Tell Calvin that. You know, we're paying him now to be a part, but we're happy that he's here as a leader. But it is giving so much away. The $20,000 in cap versus residential, buying equity and earning stock. This is just gravy for the commercial agents. They will do this all day long. And one thing for our group, as we're beta testing, for the larger commercial brokers, they don't care to share or recruit. How do we do it for them? How do we help promote and attract? Because when you show their big deals and what they're doing on LinkedIn and social media, which I'm going to build a program, very fortunate to get on CREI. It's a good group of influencers because following residential, social media, LinkedIn, all of these platforms is so important. So I'm plugging in, but trying to teach the commercial real estate nuance. Still early, believe it or not. It's important to be on there. Really important. You're going to get leads, free deals, and it's proven in residential to a point that it's gone crazy. Commercial is going to follow, like everything else. But this, don't lead with this. By the way, this is important because it does bring extra money, and what the big commercial brokers, they want legacy. I had friends that came from the big firms. They were chairmen, owning the office, but their kids wanted to be at EXP Commercial because they don't want to be stuck in a big CB, JLL, and those offices. They hate that. They work here at EXP. They co-list with their dad or their mom or their, somebody in their family. And it's funny. So once they do that, when their parents retire with all the leads and connections, they go under their kids and build. That's why I got a lot of big seniors and leaders to come over. They don't want to do this. They just want to build, but for their own incentives is the legacy for their kids. You talk to the big ones, say, what if you, when you retired, do you have a son, daughter, somebody, nephew? Build under them. That's what they want to do. They don't need the money. But if they know they can build for their kids, grandkids, nephews, somebody in their family, you better bet they're going to do it. Or do it to give back, create a nonprofit foundation to give back and help. You're going to see a lot of the commercial, like anything else, that have done well, like Tom, he gives back all the time. That is something that the more senior, 60 and over, usually, they want to build a legacy and they want to help their family. They never really retire, but they don't want to grind the way they've been grinding because it's tough in commercial. The rev share, Tom and everyone's better. I'll let you guys finish the rev share. It is a powerful tool, and that's what helped me. Thank you, Calvin, Daniel, the rest of the team. That's what freed me. I mean, I'm not going to show numbers. I don't want to get in trouble and stuff, but really it helped transition me so I can help all of you. But let me let you get into the rev share, but thank you. I'll be here after they do this to answer any other questions and get into how to really do the business and not the fluff of, work 40 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours. There's other smarter ways to do this business now that I've learned.
All right, thank you, Jim.
So I'm gonna kind of share with them. Oh, coffee. So most of you guys are in our organization. Some of you new. So when I share this revenue share, I always go back to how does the company share the revenue? So we have to understand we are, yes, virtual. So today for you guys, I want you guys to learn what you just learned from Jim and Tom to present this. I always go with numbers. So I always go back with, what if there's 1,000 real estate offices just in Texas? Franchise, independent, doesn't matter. 1,000 real estate offices, put that in your head. Then I always do, well, what if they cost $6,000 a month, right? Simple math. You do 12 months, you equal that is $72 million just in rent. So when I share this, I said Glenn Sanford, our founder of the company, was able to eliminate this hard cost day one. How? Because we're virtual, right? So I eliminate this and I share what the virtual looks like. So it's a little bit, I'm kind of pivoting from what, and you've probably seen it before, and you know where we're at, we're in the EXP world, but what does that virtual look like? So I'll go into our little virtual world here. And basically we have a little, say hi to, is it Angel? All right.
Hello, welcome to the burger room. If you need any assistance, you can just go ahead and pull up a ticket. It's gonna be on top of your screen. I have a question green bubble light button. Choose the right option ticket.
Thank you, Angel. How are you?
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
So
Doing
I
great, how
have-
about you? Happy
Good.
Friday, right?
Yes, I have a group here looking at you on the screen. What help can agents get in the Texas
Hello?
Broker Room?
We don't see anything on the
A
screen.
lot. Transactions, compliance, and administrative, plus brokers, of course.
Okay, cool, thank you. You don't see, hold on one second, sorry. Give me 1 second.
Oh no, I think there's really quite delay here today. Can you hear me?
Yes, give me 1 second, hold on.
No, of course, sure.
This is the PowerPoint. I need to print this off. There we go. Technical. Okay. So virtual world, you guys see it. So
Nice.
yes, okay. So
Oh,
Angel,
do you have a new team again?
yes, I have a team here, so we're just looking around. I appreciate
Uh-huh.
We just wanted to say hi.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you, thank you. Have a lovely Friday.
So one receptionist for the state of Texas. Earlier, I mentioned 1,000 offices. So if you had 1,000 offices, do you have to hire an admin per office? We just eliminated more work, admin at the front. You just have one person. That person, her name is Angel. She could be here for 1 hour, trade off to another person, take turns, rotate out. So I'm sharing this because we have brokers. So you see Tanya here, we're talking to Brandy. Brandy's an agent. They're in their little circle there, probably talking about a contract, talking about deals, talking about issues. The brokers are hired to service you, to service your team. They work for you. They're hired as a W-2 employee to service your team. That is how we're growing. So when you understand scalability, economy of scale, that is how EXP operates. People don't understand this. People think this is like a little weird video game. It is weird, but it eliminates that cost. So when you understand that Glenn Sanford, our founder, was able to figure out a solution That is why. Training. Just like any training, and this is, don't forget, this started in 2009. This is before Zoom calls, right? For training. We operated in this little virtual room, auditorium, right? You can have a speaker go through their slides. That's how we get trained by top producers, instructors, and not just one auditorium. You can have 20 auditoriums at a time, 100. There's no limit, right? So once you understand that, that's why I wanted to kind of share with you guys so you understand the model. Now we're going back to the PowerPoints. I'm just going to use one of these real quick. Revenue share. Okay. So most of you guys have heard me before on revenue share, what this looks like. I want to kind of show you how the numbers work, where it comes from. We're not a multi-level marketing company because we're not selling a product. We're just doing real estate. Okay. But because of the cost savings, the company can share revenues. So what does this look like? We remember we're an 80-20 split. If you're on the realty side, it's 80,000 times 20% equals that 16,000. If you're in commercial, we're 100,000 times 20% equals 20,000. Okay, that's our cap, or that's all we pay into the company. If you're a top producer at Remax, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, what do they give you? They give you a nice trophy. Even at your mortgage company, they give you a nice trophy. This company will give you back equity, more ownership. You'll get 16 or 20,000 back in company stock. How? How? By doing 20 more transactions after you cap, and the company will give you back your company cap money back in the form of stock. Okay, and there's a little detail on how you get that back. You get half right away. There's some cultural requirements by attending conference. There's a conference next week in Tuesday in Frisco. By attending that, you get part of your money back in stock too, right? So it's not just I get the money, I don't care about the company. That's what Jim was talking about. Calvin doing more volunteer work. There's a cultural requirement. Okay, so now we go to the rev share. You guys are here. Whether you're producing or not, you can just join the company. $85 for realty side, $250 for commercial. If you're just an inactive agent, just want to hang your license, we have a referral division. That's $50 a month just to be in the platform. Okay. Now you bring on, let's call her Sally. Sally can be in Dubai, France, Spain, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Australia, wherever EXP's at, you can influence them into the company because they like the model, they join because of you, your influence, right? Our influence together is not just you. You have 6-7 people above you. Sally does a transaction. Say she did a $10,000 deal. 3.5% of 10,000 is 350 the following month. That's cash. That's revenue. If she caps, you get 3.5% of her GCI, which this number is equal to $2,800. Not a whole lot, but that's revenue that the company is sharing because you influence somebody in. Now, I always stress, what if you found 10 people to build up your mini team? And those 10 people are in the business already, maybe not brand new, okay? They know what they're doing. So you know that they're doing 80,000 or more in GCI. They're selling 4 to 6 to 8 homes a year. That you know that they're capping. Well, this is $28,000. If you're producing and you cap, maybe you're not a top producer, but you are capping, you just covered your costs and you made a small profit. So this immediately eliminates any company that's doing flat fee because there's still a transaction fee. You can never make that money back. And you don't have all the resources because as a flat fee company, they can't offer that. There's not enough money on the table. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with those companies either. I'm just sharing the model. So now we go to tier 2. Sally brings on, brings on John. John comes in, and John can be in Georgia. John can be in New York. John can be in Wisconsin. We are all licensed in all 50 states. So when you understand that, John comes in and you are able to get 4%. Why? Because you have 5 or more frontline qualifying agents, meaning an agent does a transaction every 6 months, at least minimum of 5,000 gross commission income. But you already know that you already built a 10. So this, anyone in your tier 2 is equal to 4% now. Of what? 4% of what? Of the gross commission income. And this number equals to $3,200. Now I always stress, and even Tom and all the upline leaders always stress these 10 people. Are these your partners? Are these people who are serious in the business? Are these people going to run with you? Like Paul, like Lucia, like Josh back there, right? Shala, Charlie, right? Nancy, everyone, you guys are able to run. Are you serious in the business, right? Are you making a commitment to run together? And if they are, guess what? They're building up their mini team because they're also becoming a top producer. They need a team to handle leads. Most teams, around 10 people, mini team. 10, get 10 each. This equals 100 people. That's where Jim was talking about that 100. This is how your 100 is going to come. Because you're pouring into your 10 partners that are pouring into their partners coming in. This could be a 1-year goal, could be a 2-year goal, could be a 3-year goal. It's up to you. You got to set your goals. Now you do the math. And if everyone's plugging in, following Tom, following Jim, getting on the calls, learning what EXP has, internally what we're doing, that's $320,000 plus the 28. This is $348K passive residual income. Okay. For me as a real estate investor, if I needed to net 348K, if I needed to buy a shopping center, right now things are trading around 6% cap rate return. That's what we would call cap rate. This is equal to $5.8 million that I would have to save to buy a shopping center. Who has 5.8 million cash right now that they can just go buy a shopping center? It's hard, right? It's not impossible. There are people out there. But when I look at this, I just need to find these 10 people that are strong, that are leaders, smarter than me, right? Just like Tom says, Tom's much smarter than me. I'm finding other people much smarter than me, right? And you surround yourself with the right people, you can build, okay? And I share this because this is doable. Every one of you guys, it's doable. You have to set your goal. Not everyone wants to build, and that's fine. Some people just wanted to produce. They just want to be in the platform for resources to do more investments. That's fine too. But the ones you find that really want to build something for their family, this is the numbers. From there, what happens? You're building. I'm also here. I have a timeline. The day God takes me home one day, what happens to my position? We talked about it's willable. My position is willable to my kids or my wife. Okay? They get their real estate license, they take over my position, they continue to have the revenue share. But for me, it's not about this. It's not this. For me, it's about the people. And I shared this last night. It's all about the people. I want my children to connect with your children, to have that network. So basically, why we're building is building that network. Yes, you can focus. The money's good. The money's there. I showed you, the rev share for the past 3 years, and it just continues to go on. It doesn't stop. The day I stop talking is okay because you guys are learning. You guys are building up for your legacy. That is the power of EXP. But you have to share it, not sell it, right? I'm not trying to recruit you. I know that you're the daughter, your mom. You can go to Keller Williams. You can go to RE/MAX. I'm just here today to share what we're doing so you understand what it is. And you, as an entrepreneur, can run with it. Same thing for you guys. Esther, you too. I know. Because we don't have all the time in the world, right? If you look at our timeline, it's not very long. And the thing is, for me, like I said, it's not about the money. I own shopping centers. I'm trying to find the right people because we all have skin in the game. When people join this platform, we're paying 16,000 or 20,000. We all have skin in the game. There's other copycat companies that because we're proven model, there are copycats, but a lot of them don't have skin in the game. And it's a different group. That's why who you surround yourself is important. That's why we have the choice of who we bring on together, right? So you find the like-minded people to come together, to grow together, and I surround myself with other people, other shareholders in the company. So earlier when you saw that other lady, Bettina, come in, that was a shock because I've poured into their group. I actually go explain this model for her at their weekly meetings. And because she has a big resource website as well. I get to R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? So I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm learning how to build too. Paul has been good because he's built teams. I haven't. So I get to learn from Paul how to build teams, how to talk to people, learn how to be a better coach. I never thought I would be coaching people, teaching things like this. So I also have to invest in myself. EXP also has success coaching. I took a success certification. Doesn't mean I'm a coach. I took a certification to invest in myself. So now I start listening to podcasts about coaching, building teams, things like that when I'm driving, right? So hopefully you guys understand, there is something special here, what we can create together. And we just, at the same time, we need to just collectively figure out a way and strategize. So that's really all I have to say. I appreciate Tom and Jim spending the time this week with us in Texas. Next time we do this, we can't, this room would be too small. I even thought about tearing these walls out, so we can just really, utilize it. But of course we can use other spaces. There's always opportunity. So please invite people next time we do this because it's important, right? When you invite somebody, it's not you're just inviting, just like Tun, you invited a guest earlier. I know she had to leave, but she heard bulk of it. She's a top producer, but at the same time, it's her business decision what she wants to do. We're not forcing anyone to join us. We're just sharing and they see the culture and that's how we're going to grow. So hopefully you guys learn that and do the same thing. And that's how we're going to go. But yes, Tom.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some testimonials. I look around the room and I see Tom and I see Charlie, I see others.
Yeah.
Would you guys mind giving a testimony about how you guys are leveraging this platform, why you made the move in the first place? Why you're still here?
TC.
BC. And Charlie, here's Charlie too. I remember first meeting Charlie.
Charlie is my motivations, inspirational. Good afternoon, everyone.
Anyone else? I don't call people up, but I've called these guys out already. They all step up.
All right, we'll do it together.
Okay.
All right, I'm Tan. Joined EXP exactly 6 months ago at the EXP Con. I had the privilege to be invited to attend the conference. At the time when I met Daniel, I was like, man, I was thinking about opening a brokerage, right? Just like what we share here. Why open a brokerage, have all the expenses, liability? Why not join a great platform to build a team within the platform and earn all these revenue shares, live the legacy? So very passionate in real estate. So anything you do, you gotta have the passions. Without the passion, without the courage, consistent, it won't get you there. Just like raising your kid. Tom loves his children, his wife, obviously. You love your children, your wife. You do anything for them. The business that you're building, the client that you're working, you gotta love them. Give them all the excellent customer service you can. They can see that, right? They'll become your raving fan. I've been in business for so long, and I'm just starting to do a lot of promotion, social media marketing, but I haven't leveraged any kind of lead generation, which I will soon. But I'm getting a lot of leads from past clients that the service I provide to them, they refer. And as you build a team, you want your team members to have the same mindset, the same, customer service. It's building a Raven culture, not just a Raven fan. They're your fan, but if your team member doesn't deliver the same service, you're not gonna have a Raven culture. So joined EXP 6 months. I kept working my way to be an icon agent. So just like our leadership, once you're icon, you get all that money back. It's better than going through a flat fee brokerage where you didn't not getting anything back.
not just to mention the support that you have and the amazing team that we're with. And so surround yourself with great leaders, and you'll basically motivate each other. So just wanna, Charlie and I, we met 6 months ago, and I've been following this guy on social media and saw them do great videos, and I just got step up and did a video, and we used to set photographer. And thanks for the recommendation.
Thank you, and thank. Actually, so my name is Charlie, and happy to be here with everyone, even the way leaders too. Actually, I joined XP about like in like 2022, about 1.5 years. And before, with the local brokerage, it's kind of like I can say it's good, but kind of limited about my ability to with around the good people to grow my business. And then for Daniel and Calvin, so I decided to join with them. And then with all the people here with Antom, with James, Daniel, and everyone, we go together as a team, and we can see, around myself, around my team, a lot of good people, good leaders. They are passionate, they're producing, even for the health, like running. And I say, I'm in the right place to grow and go together. And about the production too, when I hit the icon, even now, I try to get about like a 5% my commission for 10% discount. I don't even think about that, but put on another side. And maybe at the end of the year, say, I gotta save some of the money. And when I hit the icon, I get all about 16 rands back for myself. So I mean, we XP with the Daniel, with our team, we're in the right place, and then we around the good people to grow and to go together. Thank you.
Charlie, where were you before? Roll back the clock to before you joined EXP. And then I want to hear that story.
Before,
You don't have to name the prior broker's name, but what did you have access to before and versus what you have access to?
Kind of grow up the story a little bit, when I met Antom about like in early of 2021, when I just get my license for 3 months. I didn't know what to do. And I saw him, man, he's always energy, say something in strong voice, I love that. And with my previous brokerage, it's kind of like locally. I mean, in case if I want, somebody if from Houston, from Austin, from maybe San Antonio to refer to, or even they refer me, limited. I didn't have the access to do that. But when I moved to XP with Daniel Calvin, I saw wow, a lot of things. Even I used to get the readers too. So somewhere else, and then they check, we got the readers here. Let's go to the office and working. And then when I with the group, wow, I see my team and myself now, we have a lot of access to other people from Austin, from Houston, they refer to each other. So we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, everyone.
I know it is 1:00. Since we're a small group, we welcome to join us across the street. We'll have a quick dinner at the dim sum place. We can just sit down and network a little bit, and we'll come back here for happy hour if you want to. I know other people will be coming later on, but that's what we'll end it early, and we'll just go out to lunch right across the street. We'll go to JS Chen. It's a Chinese restaurant. There's 2 round tables. We'll go hang out there, and if any questions, we'll just chat.
Does anyone have any questions that you want to get answered? Why did you come here today? What did you hope to accomplish today?
I was told I would get a car.
Oh, what?
I thought I was gonna get a car or
Okay.
a nine.
Get a car?
I didn't get a license. I wanted a nine for the car.
It was a drawing. No, it was a drawing. I think you stepped out of the room.
Thanks.
No questions. Is there anything that you hear that you say, yeah, that's too good to be true, I don't believe it? All right, guys. Sounds good.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go to lunch. JS Chen across the street. If you want to carpool, let's carpool.
Sure. Let me go back. I think I know.